Yo, what's up? This is Mike Lee, and you are listening to the Lee's Fitness Unlimited podcast, live from Oakland, California. What's up? What's up? It's Mike Lee checking back in with the Lee's Fitness Unlimited podcast. Today, I got a special guest, one of my teammates from Laney College. We played football together. And now he's doing some great things in the sports analyst world. I'm gonna introduce him. This is my boy ABDUL Dooley.
What's going on, everybody? This that Man Dooley right here, coming to you live. You understand? Thank you for Mike Lee for inviting me on your show. I appreciate all that, baby. So check this out. I want y'all to follow me on YouTube at That Man Dooley, Facebook at That Man Dooley, Instagram at That Man Dooley, and Twitter, Dooley Does This. I'm on all them things, man. So what we talking about today, Mike?
Man, we're going to talk about a little bit of health and fitness. We're going to talk about sports and, maybe go back into our college days, talk about a little bit of that. Shout out to the Laney Eagles, Laney boys. But wherever it takes us. But first thing that we're going to do to start off is I'm going to ask you, what is something tell me an embarrassing moment or a funny story that happened to you in the gym or involved with sports or something along those lines?
Oh, man, I got a few, man, but one of the most funniest things that ever occurred to me, right? So we in the gym, just got done pumping the iron. I'm talking about big boy weights, you understand? So I'm over here putting together my protein shake, then put the milk in, milk and water, the protein. So I'm shaking the shake. Man, the cap of the shake wasn't even locked right. It splashed all over me in front of everybody. I'm talking about I'm looking real milky right now. All over my face, my shirt. I'm over here shaking it like, oh my gosh, it was embarrassing. But honestly, I couldn't do nothing but laugh because it was funny, So, yeah, man, that was for sure one of my most embarrassing moments in the gym, And this happened when I was in my teens, So, yeah, bro.
Oh man, well at least that happened to you in the gym where you was able to clean that shit, where you was able to clean it up. Excuse me, I am gonna try to not cuss so much on this episode, but the same thing happened to me. I was in the car on the way to the gym, so you already know you sitting in the car and you get to spilling protein shake milk all over the place and you can't really clean it up because you moving, it wasn't cool. So I know about that one. Luckily I was by myself in the car, so it wasn't really embarrassing, but I embarrassed myself with that one.
Yeah,
man,
that's funny.
So for those that don't know, That Man Dooley is he is on a special journey to become a sports analyst. Well, I don't even want to say become, he already is one. He just trying to get bigger and more well known with it.
Exactly.
But one thing I could say about this dude is, even when we was playing football together at Laney, I always heard this dude's voice across the locker room arguing with somebody about the Raider game that just happened or something. That's something that I was always gonna remember you for. So the fact that you really doing it make it even better. Because I know this is really you. This is Dooley all the way.
That's me. It's me, bro. Without a doubt, man. That's just what I do. It's something I've been doing since I was a little boy. My love for the game of sports, it's like no other. You know what I mean? And I'm a real analyst, so it's like things I could tell you that happened before I was born. Most people can't even tell you who won the Super Bowl the year they were born, or a few years before they were born, or the NBA championship, or who held the WBC heavyweight championship at that moment in time. Most people couldn't tell you all those things. So it's just something I like to do, as you already know. Been on First Take a few times, mainstream,
Oh, for sure.
So, I mean, definitely been on the commercials, at least on the cusp of being on the show, So it's like I'm just trying to upgrade myself and be known for what I want to be known for and the things I really love, And, and That's what you're gonna catch on my Instagram, my YouTube. You're also gonna see a little vlogging on my YouTube channel, just places I may go in life. My family happens to be from West Africa, so check out for that vlog coming up soon, straight from Sierra Leone. Yeah, but so it's not just sports, it's just majority sports, because that's what I love. And if you love sports, you gonna have to come find me and we could talk the game, and I'm gonna see what you know.
For sure. Definitely, you gotta roll with what you love. That's pretty much how I ended up doing the whole thing with fitness, which was about sports. I just had to make sure I was working out when I was playing sports. So definitely. But even the fact that you made it on the ESPN, the way that you did it was, man, I gotta take, if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you, because you grinded, you got it out the mud. You went in the show on what was it, like a contest or just
absolutely.
They was just picking the most random person that they saw could fit the job on the spot at the time, and they chose you over all them people. It wasn't like you had a way in, or like you had a connection with ESPN or nothing like that. You hustled your way in and got it. And then once you got on, you stayed on. I remember seeing you in the morning on First Take, and it was, man, that was a proud moment for me just to see you on it, because I was getting tired of watching the show for a second. When I see my man Dooley on there, I said, oh man, this shit is cool. So
yep,
for sure. Yep. So yeah, just talk about, tell us about that experience. From how'd you find out about the opportunity? How'd you go through with the opportunity? How'd you feel? Like the whole thing, from going from I'm about to do this to actually seeing yourself on ESPN.
Absolutely, my man. Basically, it's a show I love for years. When you talking about Stephen A. Smith, one of the best to ever do it, the great Skip Bayless. I wish Skip was still on the show, because it was nothing like that combination. Max is great, Molly is great, but I like Stephen A., Carrie Champion, and Skip Bayless. That's what First Take really took off for me, But as far as the competition goes, I just saw the competition by watching the show, and on their Facebook page. I've been posting my videos to their Facebook page, which they were posting me on, and I was receiving a ton of love from a whole bunch of people I didn't even know, telling me a few comments. People were like, ESPN, give this man a job. That's when I knew it was real,
That's what's up.
People I don't even know, bro. It was just crazy, man. But so the competition first came out a couple years ago. They do it in spurts, maybe every 6 months, every 8 months. The first time was around 2016. I made a whole video, and that made the commercial, But ever since then, I've just been, every time the competition comes, I'm ready to go. And when I'm ready to go, I'm going to speak my piece, and I'm going to post my video so the world can see and understand where I come from,
Yeah, man, for real. So, and then another thing that you did was you went and did some draft coverage.
Absolutely, everybody. I have an NFL draft video on my YouTube channel. Live footage straight from the draft. I vlogged it, went to Nashville, Tennessee, made the voyage. It was lovely. As soon as I landed off the plane, the airport had a whole bunch of all teams kind of gear. So it wasn't just Titans gear, but you better believe there was nothing more than Titans fans. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the home team.
Exactly, but it was beautiful.
So I don't know if I've ever asked you this, or that's how I know you do a pretty good job at what you do. Do you have a favorite team?
To be honest with you, my favorite team is the Washington Redskins, and it's a long story, but when Sean Taylor died, yes, I had vouched to them, and I still ride with them even though they're trash, okay? But other than that, I'm more so a savant of the game. You get what I'm saying? I have, put it this way, I have favorite players, not favorite teams.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. That's how I am. But I would imagine for what you do, you really don't want to be biased. You don't want to be team biased, so you want to just kick it straight.
Exactly.
Even like how you just said your favorite team is trash. Just like my favorite team was the Raiders, and they've been trash. But you just got to keep it real. That's the best thing about sports is it ain't you could try to lie in sports, but you really can't. The truth gonna come out one way or the other.
Exactly. Ain't no running from it. Ain't no running.
So what are some things that you do now to keep yourself in shape since after after football and everything?
Well, as you know, man, I take my workout serious. The only thing about it is when you're a working man, working woman in this society, it's so tough to put your workout in as much as you want, you know? But those who want to do it will get the job done. So every time I get a chance, you know me. I was taught by the great Coach T, you know, your
Shout out
pops,
Coach T.
your pops, you know. I'm a man that likes to work out in the morning. You get what I'm saying? I like to get it fresh. Most of us work in the morning, but some days that I'm available, I like to get it over with, because in the mornings you actually have the most energy.
Yep.
Since you have the most energy in the morning, it's best to get your workout out the way, regardless of the long day you have ahead of you. Because if you were to complete that long day first, you just may say to yourself, I'm not working out. So it's best to get it done. And some of the things I do, I still run the track, I still lift weights, push-ups, sit-ups, those types of things. The other day I just went on a 10-mile hike, you know, just yesterday, and I'm pretty damn sore. Okay, you know, excuse the French, but yeah.
Nah, man, that's good. No, I want you to be comfortable on the show, man. We just keep in mind that as kids, just think about it, how when you was on ESPN, you couldn't have been cussing on ESPN, but you did a great job. And that's all we on. But definitely, because if you heard the first episode, I was cussing. I was cussing a lot, and I was until I really went back and listened to it. I said, "Damn, I got a lot of kids still listen to this."
Right.
You know.
Right.
So. But yeah, that's good that you still work out after sports. Cause I know a lot of people after they done with sports, they think it's no point in working out or pushing yourself to just to be in them uncomfortable times. I mean, you know, especially when you was out on the track with us doing the speed tech workouts. The best workouts is when you feel the worst, when you feel like you about to throw up, when you feel like you just don't have no energy left. You just left it all out wherever you at, on the field, on the track, on the court, or wherever you at. You know, it's not a good feeling in the moment, but afterwards, you know that you put some work in.
Exactly. Absolutely. No, nothing like those track workouts. Honestly, those were the best speed workouts I ever had in my life. You know, and I really did see myself getting faster, you know, so it was just crazy how it all went about, man. I'll never forget those days, bro. Shout out to Pops.
For sure. Yeah, he listened to the show too, so he'll definitely hear this.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So what are some things that you are looking forward to in terms of sports and your business and just things coming forward?
Well, as you all know, I'm a graduate of Texas Southern University, home of the Tigers, located in Houston, Texas. You know, HBCU life, power to the people, you know. But outside of me going to college, I'm just a businessman, my man. You know, I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I'm not just a degree holder. I'm an entrepreneur. You get what I'm saying? And I'm taking my my skills, those skills to the next level, you know. And that's just by investing in a few businesses and investing in myself. I'm about to begin a podcast. So outside of my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, I'm going to have a podcast and a website on the way as well. You know, just advertising me and the things I do and the things I love to be up to, you know?
Absolutely. So yeah, make sure y'all follow that Man Dooley. It's that with a D. DATMANDOOLEY.
DOOLEY.
That Man Dooley.
That man, you feel me? That man.
Yeah, so yeah, and I like your videos, you know. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Abdul, he shoots these videos on his YouTube channel, and it's pretty cool because he doing commentary, but he actually puts what's going on in the actual video, so you could literally see what he's talking about. You could see his reaction, and it's 100% authentic, and it's just cool. Like I like the idea of it, and I like what you actually do with it, and you stay relevant and consistent. That's important. So
Absolutely, man, y'all gotta check out my channel. I'm telling y'all, come mess with me while I'm here. Okay, I'm trying to tell y'all want that heat? You want to know? You want me to tell it like it is? This man knows me, and before he knew me, I was doing this. But I got a couple questions for this man when it comes to health. You know, this the health man, everybody. So I gotta put him in check when it comes to a couple questions so we can get that real gas. You understand?
For
So
sure.
check this out, my man. How do you feel about intermittent fasting? You know, what's your take on that? You know?
I think it can work for some people, and I think it's worth trying. Just in terms of diets in general, I think try them because there's no correct answer for anybody. Like intermittent fasting may work for you, it may not work for me, or the other way around. You know, different diets work for different people. You know, so I'm not for it or against it. It just depends on the situation.
Okay.
But I definitely would say do your research on it and make sure that you are prepared for it because it is going to be a challenge with any type of fasting. You're going to be going through some periods of the day where you are going to be restricting yourself from eating. So it's definitely going to have a lot of self-discipline involved in it. You know, so that's the part that whenever you're doing diets, it's really about your discipline. And then you want to make sure that's something you can sustain over a long period of time, right? So if I tell you to go on an intermittent fasting diet and realistically you only going to do it for about 3 days and then you're going to fall off, then that might not be the best thing for you, you know. Although the concept of it may work, but it just may not work for you. So you want to do what's going to be the best thing over a lifetime. It's hard for me to see someone using the intermittent fasting as a life routine when it comes to eating. So yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on it for right now, you know. But I definitely do think it can work, especially for like fighters or boxers or people that got to make weight and lose weight real drastically, or like people that are in like bodybuilding competitions, I would think, or things like that, where you just gotta be on point with your weight at a certain period of time. I think that things like that could definitely be beneficial. Yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
Hold on. You ain't off the hook yet, man. You know. So, man, I know Pop's gonna be listening. So, one thing Pops used to implement and be adamant about is stretching. I remember one time we got done stretching for 5-10 minutes. Pops laughed, talking about, boy, y'all ain't need to stretch for 30 minutes. Yeah, that ain't no real stretch. You know, what kind of stretch is that? Y'all don't know nothing about no stretching. You know? So explain to me, my man, and tell the people out there, what's the importance of stretching?
The importance of stretching is just to keep yourself loose and limber, you know, as athletes. And it's just so for those of y'all that don't know, my dad comes from a track and field background, and he was a hurdler at that. So most hurdlers got to be limber just to be getting over hurdles. And you got to be, any athlete, especially like a skill player in football or any sport to where you got to take off and sprint real quick, you want to be looser than tight. You know, when you tight, that's when muscles get pulled. So you want to train yourself to be kind of ready to go at all times. So the more that you stretch, the better you're going to be. So I always recommend stretching as well. 30 minutes, that's probably more like the old school way of looking at things. But sometimes I think that's beneficial. I wouldn't recommend stretching for 30 minutes every night. You know, I don't even think my dad would recommend that. But it's just the fact of, yeah, you gotta stretch for an extended period of time to get your body just used to being in those positions, and then being able just to be loose and efficient.
And so do you feel like stretching prevents injury as well?
It can, but then all of a sudden it could be the opposite. Stretching at the wrong time could give you an injury. So it's really about how you do it and when you do it. You don't want to overstretch. You don't want to stretch for too long. That's what I was just talking about. You don't want to stretch for too long, but then you don't want to not stretch either. You know. So, and there have been scientific studies that say that stretching, doing static stretches before you work out is not the best thing for you. And that's actually, it is some truth to that. So a static stretch is pretty much like when you're doing a stretch where you're not moving. You could just be like sitting on the ground, like trying to reach out for your toes or something like that. That's a static stretch, but it's not really the best thing to do before competition. So if you notice, like, well, at Laney, that's one thing that we did that kind of wasn't right. We used to do, or I don't want to say the wrong thing because I may have my memory kind of messed up at this point. Did we do our dynamic warm up first or the static stretch?
From what I remember, we all got in our lines. And each group was each DBs over there, D linemen over here, quarterbacks, running backs, and everybody would stretch with their group. Then we do our chant, and then go into the warm ups.
Yeah, you're right. So for that, I would say I would disagree with what we were doing. I would say that you should do the warm up first. Like we should have been doing like high knees and stuff like that first to get your muscles warm, and then we should have done that type of stretching after practice. That's how I would change it, personally. Static stretching is better for after the workout. But a lot of football and the football culture is based on that old school mentality. So. But yeah, stretching is important. You definitely need to stretch. It's better to be limber than to be stiff.
Absolutely. And my last question: how do you feel about those of us trying to get muscle? Do you feel like running and cardio can get in the way of building muscle? Like too much cardio will deplete muscle? Because this is something I actually looked up.
That's a good question.
And this is something, me being a man that works out himself, I've actually tested on myself. But everybody's different. But to me, sometimes when I do a lot of cardio, more specifically jogging, it depletes my muscle. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Versus doing a little bit of cardio and more lifting to keep me more plump.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Like you said, everyone is different. It depends on genetics, but that's very common. That's why you see a lot of runners, like a lot of people that run marathoners or people that run marathons, they're not the buffest people. They're real slender and slim. Even when you look at track and field, the distance runners are more skinny, or more lean. The sprinters got more muscle on them.
Absolutely.
Because they're not running for longer periods of time. So yeah, it will deplete your muscle if you are running extensively. And then it goes to the type of running you're doing. So you could either be doing two types of running. You could be doing sprints or long distance running, and they're going to work two different things. So one is going to be your cardio, and the other is going to be your endurance, or your stamina and endurance. So your stamina is more your short term, like if you're running sprints, if you're running gassers and things like that. But once you start running miles, then that's your long term. Your endurance, and with that, you can start losing muscle, especially because it depends on how you feed your muscles. Are you currently lifting, or are you just naturally built? Because it could be you losing a lot of water weight too, but sometimes we get a lot of water weight in our muscles. So it could be a lot of different things that attribute to that.
Okay. Now I just had to ask you, my man.
He come with some real fitness questions. I like it,
man. I want everybody to know what we do, and want us to know we're serious about our craft. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So now I gotta test you on some trivia.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm ready to go. This is what I do, baby.
You brought it up, and that actually did impress me.
Okay.
So first of all, let's say right now, just for the viewers, how old are you? What year were you born?
I was born in 1989, man. Lasted in the 80s babies, baby.
Okay, so in 89, I believe that there was something big going on out here in the Bay Area, a sporting event.
Absolutely. They was the World Series, my man, between the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants.
Okay. And then so in 89, I'm trying to think what in 89, let's see, who was in the Super Bowl that year? Do you know?
Oh man, well, you know what? I can't tell you who was in the Super Bowl, but I can tell you who won the Super Bowl. And who won the Super Bowl was the San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
Okay, well now we could probably figure out, didn't they beat the Bengals one year? Was it the Bengals?
I think the Bengals, that might have been the Bengals year, or the Bengals was a little earlier than that. Okay. But actually, I almost want to say that was the Bengals. They beat that year in 89.
Could be.
Yeah.
Definitely could be.
In 94, it was the Chargers. In one of those early years, they beat the Broncos as well. They dusted the Broncos. I'm talking about Joe Montana, John Elway versus John Elway. They torched them. I think the final score to that Super Bowl was 55-10.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they torched them, But in 1989, I almost want to say it was the Bengals they played.
Well, I'm checking Google right now.
Okay.
So we're going to get yes, it was the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep, Cincinnati Bengals. Boomer Esiason and a few other players thought they had what it takes to take down the great Joe Montana and the great Jerry Rice. But ladies and gentlemen, it don't go down like that. Okay? Legendary team right there. We talking about Ronnie Lott on the defensive side of the ball. Did they have Romanowski at that point?
Oh, man.
Yeah, right. They had Romanowski in 94. Bill Romanowski, everybody. Yeah, that's how much football I know. That's a name you don't hear every day.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, for real. No, that's a good one. So
now I'm guessing you want to get me on the NBA title that year in that 1980. Who won the NBA championship?
I wasn't gonna come with the NBA title.
Okay.
But I was gonna ask you, because I'm just curious about, especially with you being from the Bay, how you feel about the Golden State Warriors?
Man, honestly, I feel like the Golden State Warriors was the best team of all time. Okay, when you talk about the so-called best team of all time, the 96 Bulls, because everybody wants to hop on Jordan's, like Jordan ain't do it Jordan couldn't get it done without Scottie. Everybody, that's what I'm letting y'all know right now. You come to this argument talking about Jordan just did it by himself, like it wasn't other factors involved. Stop it. But anyways, let's put the 1996 Bulls versus the 2017 Golden State Warriors. Let's just say Durant and Jordan X each other off. No, I'm not saying Durant's better than Jordan. But in the same token, you know what I'm trying to say right now, Mike. What I'm trying to say is Durant and Jordan cross each other
they
off.
Go head to head.
Then you got Scottie. Let's just say Scottie crosses off Clay. Scottie and Clay, because they both have different factors. Even though Scottie will probably lock down Clay, okay? But the fact he has to chase Clay around all day wouldn't be easy. The Bulls have no answer for Steph. Draymond and Dennis Rodman cancel each other out. My advantage going to Dennis Rodman, okay? But basically, the Bulls do not have enough scorers to keep up with the 2017 Golden State Warriors. They're snipers. Are the Bulls a better defensive team? Absolutely. But I still have the Golden State Warriors of 2017 being the best team ever.
You know what's interesting about that matchup is if that was ever a real situation, Steph Curry would have to be guarded by his coach, wouldn't he?
Well, once Steve Kerr got off the bench, absolutely. Because Steve Kerr didn't start.
You're right.
Ron Harper actually started as the point guard of the 96 Bulls. And Ron Harper was about 6'4", 6'5", tall point guard, defensive mastermind. But I don't think he was enough to guard Steph. Steph, he just shoots the ball too good. You'd have to be a 6'7" lockdown defender to really take care of Steph the right way. You know what I mean? You can't be around his height. Steph's already 6'3" as it is. You cannot be around 6'4", 6'5". I don't care how good you are defensively. That's not tall enough to stop him.
No, definitely. I agree with you. I think that we just saw the best basketball team ever.
I'm with it.
Ever.
I'm with it.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
Yeah, I was able. I mean, I kind of remember the tail end of Jordan's career. I just remember watching some of those games. I was a young little kid, but I remember seeing it at least. But this is like seeing the whole thing of what the Warriors have done, and I think still are doing. I'm not counting them out yet, so I think that I like it. So my next question for you: who are your top 5 athletes, any sport? Who and why?
Well, if you're talking about today's world or just all time, huh? All time?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
All time's a bit easier for me at least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, when you talk about the all-time best athletes, man, well, it's a toughie. It's a tough question, man. But I'm liking Muhammad Ali. You got to put him in there just because of what he did for not just boxing, but the rest of the world as well, and just what he meant to black people in general. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you got to go with Jordan because you got to go with the icons. You know what I mean? Jordan was an icon. Basketball wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for Mike. All these players in this generation are playing like Mike. They didn't copy anybody's style. They're copying that off the dribble Michael Jordan style. You get what I'm saying? And when it comes to money, basketball just simply wouldn't have been as close as it was if people overseas didn't fall in love with who Mike Jordan is and just what he's about. Okay, my next most iconic athlete, right? Man, this is where it gets tough. But to be honest, I'm gonna have to go with two players. I'm gonna have to go with and they're both soccer players. I'm gonna have to go with Messi and Ronaldo.
Okay.
They've run this era of soccer, and I'm not disrespecting the greats from yesteryear of soccer. The Ronaldinhos, the Memorials, the Ronaldo, the Beckhams. I'm not gonna disrespect the former stars of yesteryear. But when you talk about Ronaldo and Messi, ladies and gentlemen, you talking about two stars who have controlled this game, who have little kids all over the place just wanting to be like them. That's who we're dealing with right now. I don't think any football stars who ever played the game can compare to them as far as their impact goes. Now, popularity and all those other things, possibly. But impact, Messi and Ronaldo have been doing this for too long, okay? And now, my fifth, I'm going to go with a lady. Who I'm going to go with is Serena Williams.
Okay.
We're talking about one of the greatest of all time here in Serena Williams, okay? And I'm not just bringing her up because she's a black woman. I could have brought anybody up. But it's all about what she does and where she comes from, okay? She dominates the game. She's in her mid-30s now, but she's almost on the cusp of having the most major titles in women's tennis sports history, okay? And the way she dominates the game, Serena dominates the game like no other, okay? So it's like you got to go with Serena. You got to go with Messi, Ronaldo. You have to go with Ali. And you have to go with Jordan. And that's just my list of all-time athletes. I didn't say they were the best. I said they were great. Okay, as far as the best goes, personally, I think Tyson better than Ali, but that's just a conversation for another day.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to talk about that one another day.
Exactly. So and the man sitting right next to here knows I don't care about Mike Jordan. I am a LeBron James fan. Period.
Yeah.
This man knows me.
Yep.
But when we talk about icons, there's no way I'm going to sit here and tell you LeBron is some kind of an icon compared to Mike. That's just coming from a man who doesn't know what he's talking about. But yeah, man, that's my five. You got to go with Serena as well. Mm-hmm.
That was good. Well, before we wrap this thing up, is there any last comments or messages you want to get out to the people?
Man, I just want to let the people know right now, man, anything you want to do in life, put it to works. And it's all about getting everything together so you can officially go to the next level. So it's not necessarily stop waiting on things. Now is the time. That's what I want you to know. Now is the time to get up and do it. The only thing really stopping most of us from doing things is money. But money can be saved. Money can be put into the right directions. But we can all think. You can think right now. You can meet up with people who are doing it. How many people are going out doing those things? So I want you to know now is the time. Not tomorrow, because there may not be a tomorrow. Do what you love and do it well. Okay? Anyways, this that man Dooley once again. Y'all know where to find me on YouTube at DATMANDOOLEY. Same goes for Facebook and Instagram. Twitter at Dooley Does This. I just want to thank Mike for putting me on this podcast, letting y'all know how I feel, spitting what I spit, doing what I do. And I just want to appreciate Lee's fitness and everything. Thank you for having me come out, my man.
Oh, man, I appreciate you. I couldn't have done it without you. But, yeah, man, so check us out. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're gonna post this everywhere, so you'll see it probably on Facebook, Instagram, and everything else. But just another big thank you to my boy Abdul, that man Dooley. And if y'all got any questions for next week's show, hit me up. You can find us on Twitter at LeeFitUnlimited. At LeeFitUnlimited. All right, until next time, we out.